Hey there, welcome to My Green Pets. I'm William Green. My grocery store Phalaenopsis, which has been in bloom for 5 months, is starting to fade. These first flowers bloomed back in August, and they are finally done. I actually fertilized this plant for the first time in a few months last week, and shortly after is when the flowers started to fade. So I don't know if there's a connection there, but it's definitely starting to grow again, and that cycle has started all over. It is very cold. We got an Arctic blast here. We got some snow outside, and it's negative 23 degrees Celsius this morning. So that's fun. And we're going to be very cold the next few days, so I don't even know if I'm going to leave my apartment. Clavia miniata decided to start the spring off a little early. Good two little flowers on this side growth and some more buds coming. So let's look in the tent. So we got a few things in bud and bloom, see what's going on in there. Isn't that nice? Tropical plants in the dead of winter. Wonderful. We've got Cloecia Rebecca Northern. This is Aurora, still blooming with a lovely cinnamon ginger fragrance. Behind it we've got Mormodia Jumbo World, Kanazawa. Also some nice speckly flowers there. Right in front of us we've got Signocha's Bronze Vixen. This is its second spike of the year, and I still have, I guess, a couple more weeks before those pop open. That's going to be wonderful to see this late in the season. Next to it, we've got Dendrochilum tonellum. It's not totally bloomed out yet, but very close. You can see the tiny little flowers there. And no fragrance that I've detected on this guy yet, but maybe there'll be a little bit. A lot of the Dendrochilum are quite fragrant. And then what I'm very excited about is this big banana here. Look at that. Rhyncholalia aristocrat, a hybrid between the only two Rhyncholalia species, Digbiana and Glauca, and it is pushing out fast. Really excited about this guy, and hoping that the flower is going to go this way and not this way. If it goes this way, then it'll have all this space to bloom out, but it looks like it wants to go this way. You can tell it's already kind of turning in that direction, but whatever, it's fine. Excited about that, especially since this plant was too shriveled up, ugly growths back in the spring when I got it, and it still managed to put out a new growth with a flower. It's fantastic. Gotta love hybrids for their vigor. Down here we've got Rebecca Northern Mikabe, still with a flower. It's kind of starting to fade, but it's got a spike back here that is still pushing. And that's about it for buds and blooms. An update on the mite situation. They really seem to be concentrated on these three Nepenthes with their soft, juicy leaves. So what I found was that the soap, I found instructions to mix like 2 tablespoons of Dawn soap, Dawn detergent. I learned this week that detergent and soap are chemically different things. Very informative. But I think the spraying the Dawn 2 tablespoons in a gallon of water, I think it has actually damaged the leaves more than any mites would have. So I stopped that, and now I'm just spraying the leaves with water every day just to try to kind of keep them wet and make it a less hospitable place for mites. But I am starting to wonder if they're spider mites, because they are so tiny. In the past, when I've had what I think were spider mites, they were, I don't know, like a millimeter, half a millimeter. These things are tiny, 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 like nothing more than a little tiny red speck. And they do have this reddish orangish color, which makes me think that they are spider mites. But then the temperature in the tent is very cool. Like right now, it's 18 degrees Celsius, and overnight it was like 17 something. So it's not warm in the tent. Daylight's not long. It's only 8 or maybe 9 or 10 hours of daylight, and it is dry. There is good air movement, but I'm just wondering if it isn't a different type of mite than spider mites, because spider mites aren't supposed to really thrive in those conditions. Anyway, I'm not. I feel like the situation is under control, I guess. They really, I'm only finding them on those Nepenthes. This one to a lesser extent as well. And the way I'm detecting them is dipping a Q-tip, a cotton swab in like soapy water, or even just getting it wet, and then just rubbing it against the undersides of the leaves, and then looking at it underneath a magnifying lens that I have, and I see these teeny tiny little red specks. So there's not a large concentration of them, which is good, but they are there. So I don't know. It's going to be an ongoing thing. I did look up also predatory mites and found that in during this time of year when the days are short and the weather's cool and it's drier, the predatory mites tend to enter what's called diapause, which is basically they just kind of go into this dormant period. So it's possible that the mites always lived in the collection. I mean, I think it makes sense to be able to completely eradicate them. I don't know if that's realistic, but maybe they were just well controlled and I never really saw any evidence of them being around. And then maybe over the past couple months, air circulation was improved in the tent, temperatures have dropped, it's gotten cooler, it's gotten darker. Maybe it's just possible that the natural predatory mites were taking a break, and the pest mites got a little bit out of control. That's my guess, but I'm monitoring the situation carefully, and that's all you can do. That's all I can do. I'm not worried. I'm not freaking out. I think it's going to be okay, and I definitely think once things start warming up, days get longer, we're going to see more of those little natural predatory mites that I introduced into the tent years ago, that I think have been doing a pretty good job keeping things under control. I think we might see more of them starting to come out and maybe get that situation under control. But until then, I'll be watching the plants very carefully. But I'm not impressed with what the soap did. You can see that this little Nepenthes, it was still developing and its lid popped early. So that's not great. So I'm not really impressed with the detergent. So maybe just spraying them with plain water regularly will kind of just make it a less hospitable environment for mites. That's the hope anyway. Let's see, anything else exciting happening? My bulbophyllums are growing like weeds back here, and hoping that we'll see some flowers on them in the spring or summer. If not, they typically bloom in the fall, but I've had them bloom in the summer as well. And one more little Nepenthes update. This is my Nepenthes pervillae, and I'm very, very excited that the newest leaf is the biggest one so far. The plant seems to be getting a nicer overall uniform green color. It seems to be finally getting some roots in there, and I'm glad. This is what I think is one of the coolest of the whole Nepenthes tribe, and I really want it to do well, get big. Oh, and my little Nepenthes Raja by Velosa seedlings, you can see tiny, tiny little pictures already growing out of those seed leaves. Isn't that cool? There's 8 so far, and I know there's a couple more seeds in there that still might germinate. Hopefully they will. So that's fun. And, well, that's just about it for now. I have started watering these Dowiana Aurea seedlings more regularly, and the growth looks a lot better. So I'm this browning of previous leaves and previous bulbs. I was wondering, I was like, is this a pest? Is this a problem? I think maybe they just weren't getting enough water and they were just struggling. Oh, it's a fungus gnat coming to say hi. Hello. Yes. Anyway, so these definitely seem to be growing better, have nicer, bigger leaves, and I'm so paranoid about roots rotting and plants getting sick and having fungal issues and fusarium and all that great stuff that I have been erring on the side of dryness for my cattleyas, but it's good to see that, when I up the watering, they respond positively. So that's all for today. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next time right here on My Green Pets. Oh wait, look, we've got some new growth over here on Cattleya Rex. That's exciting. This is just about the time of year where that starts happening. New Cattleya growth for blooms in March, April, May, and over the summer. All right, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next time right here in My Green Pets. I'm William Green. Bye-bye.